How's it going, gamers? It's Chongo here, and today I've got a different sort of video for you guys. I'm going to be detailing the multiplayer modes that are going to be available in Watch Dogs when it launches at the end of this month, so let's get into it. So I've been really excited for the game Watch Dogs ever since I first saw it in 2012 at the E3. I thought it was really awesome to, just see a game that's kind of different than everything else we had out there. I mean, we have this whole militaries thing going on with futuristic stuff, but we haven't really explored hacking in games as much as I suppose we could, and the whole concept of Watch Dogs just seemed really cool to me, and it seemed like a really good single player experience. But with that being said, there's also some really good multiplayer modes for Watch Dogs. Now, the first mode is the one that everyone's seen and heard about since the first time they discussed multiplayer to do with Watch Dogs, and this was Intrusion. Now, this mode is just a head-to-head hacking mode, so one player enters the game of another player, and the whole purpose of them being there is to try and hack the other player and get 100% on the hack. But as soon as they start the hack, the other player is notified, and then they can begin searching for the hacker. So I think this mode's going to be very interesting, especially since it could interrupt your single player experience to then become hacked. And I really do like this concept, even though this mode can be turned off. But I still think it'll be a really cool thing to, have the ability to enter someone else's game and do this, and, just be playing along, and then all of a sudden someone's entering your game and hacking you. The next mode is tailing. Now, we haven't seen any gameplay of this mode. We've only really heard a little bit about it, and they've said it's like Intrusion, where you enter someone else's game, except they're not notified, and the whole point of this mode is for you to tail that particular person until you've got enough information on them. So I'm assuming it's like Intrusion, except you've probably got to be, a little bit more stealthy about it, because if they do see someone or see something that's acting quite odd, obviously they're going to find you out and they're going to try and get you. But I really like this whole concept because Intrusion sounds really cool as well. It's just that once you become notified, I think it kind of breaks the whole point of it, whereas tailing, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, that person looks a bit odd, and then you find out they're actually a player, I think that's going to make some very interesting gameplay. Both the Intrusion mode and the tailing mode can be turned off in the settings, so if you don't really like that whole concept of having the chance of someone entering your game, or having the option to enter someone else's game, you can turn that off to keep it to your single player experience, although I feel like this probably adds to the experience more, and I think that's what Ubisoft have been saying themselves. The other mode that they've got is the companion app, so this is going to allow players to download a free app on their phones or tablets, I believe, and then they can basically try and challenge a player to escape. So this whole concept is someone's in a car and they've got to keep going in their game, in the actual game Watch Dogs, while a player is on the tablet and they're using, hacking as well as the police to try and stop them. Now, I really like this concept because I've always felt that tablet integration in games has kind of felt a bit crap because they haven't been able to find a proper use for it or something that actually seems interesting instead of just, having it in the game. But I do like this whole concept that it's free, so in the sense that people could be playing Watch Dogs without actually owning Watch Dogs because they could play it on their tablet. And also Ubisoft is doing the same sort of thing with tablet integration in The Division, so it would be interesting to see how, other developers look at this and realize that they can do really awesome things with tablet integration. Now on to the next multiplayer mode, and this is racing mode, which is obviously something that you'd expect in a game like this, so basically just a normal racing mode, except there's a little difference that everyone is able to hack, so I think it's going to be quite hectic watching, somebody bring up these barriers that is going to hit someone and changing traffic lights and, causing all havoc while having a race with other players. The next multiplayer mode is Decryption. Now, this sounds like a really awesome team-based mode where it's a 4v4, and the whole point of playing this is to try and get access to this data, which is somewhere on the map. So you go with your team to try and get this information, and once you start getting it or you've picked up the data, you then need to get away from the other team as they'll be trying to interfere with the hack. So the whole point is you've got to try and get in a vehicle or somehow get away from them so that you can complete the game, and once that reaches 100%, you win. So it's like an interesting sort of capture-defend mode, and I think with the whole city, this would be really awesome to see how far people will go to try and keep this information. So the last mode that we know is available for Watch Dogs in multiplayer is Free Roam. So Ubisoft was just trying out some stuff, and they decided that Free Roam is really fun, so you can have, 8-player Free Roam just going around the whole city doing whatever you want. Although the storyline and all that kind of stuff won't be there, it's just you going and doing what you want. So I think that's really cool that they've decided to let people have that, because there's a lot of games that decide that obviously players don't want to just go around and do whatever they want. So it'll be interesting to see what you could do around the city and just, play around with your friends. Anyway, this brings me end my video detailing the Watch Dogs multiplayer modes. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, and if you've got any comments about Watch Dogs, put it down below. And if you want to join the GamerHood, just subscribe. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.